Hey, beer nerds, it's Ryan with Beer by the Numbers. I had some, I started this stream. You know what? I started this stream like 15 minutes ago. I had some technical difficulties, so I just need to pull up the stream really quickly before I start. Because, of course, whatever was happening, my microphone was muted the whole time, and I have no idea what the heck was going on. So let me just, okay. So I confirmed the audio is working, or at least it played back in my ear, and I can hear myself talking. So I'm not going to worry about it anymore. All right. So yes, oh, thank you, Drunken One. So Drunken One, you saved me tonight because I would have recorded that whole Mike. You two would have recorded that whole thing just literally talking to myself and not hearing anything. But anyway, guys, I hope you're doing well tonight. I'm here celebrating the start of Craft Beer Week, so I'm really excited to do that. It's something the beer industry is kind of pushing. They push it every year, but you know it's come around again. So yeah, I'm hanging out, drinking a beer. So when I originally cracked this open, tonight I am drinking the Murder Horn Belgian Golden Ale. And this one's really tasty. It's just a good malty Belgian-y beer. And I'm trying to remember because this got sent to me as part of a beer trade I did on Reddit a while ago. But it was sent to me from Back Pocket Brewing out of Coralville, Iowa. So it's a really solid beer. It doesn't really look it because it's very golden and delicious. I hope that's coming through okay, but you know, it's up over 10% ABV and it hides it really well. So I try to sip this thing and not chug it down because I really like Belgian beers because it tastes a lot more like a 4, 5, 6% saison than it does a 10% Belgian strong ale. All right, so now that we're back online, I got everything working this time. I got some cool beer news to share this week because I got the house to myself and just think about beer literally all the time. So I just needed to come on and share. So I'm gonna test out some screen share and stuff I got going on, and I haven't used this feature in the live streaming a lot yet. So bear with me as I figure this out. But I think I got everything pulled up right. So the first article I want to share is from VinePair because they did a really cool map with the beer consumption data that came out for 2017, and they really did a great job of kind of breaking down where it was all consumed. So, you know, we have this map. Darker green areas are obviously where more beer was consumed per capita, and the lighter areas are where less beer was consumed per capita. So, you know, obviously we got some big standouts here, but really a lot of the big numbers come from the small states, and you know, that's kind of to be expected with the, you know, per capita numbers. But look up there in Montana, Big Sky, really raking it home. Of course, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin. You know, you go to any of these places, you know, people like beer. I was a little surprised to see Vermont and New Hampshire up there so high up in New England, and South Carolina was a little bit of a surprise too. Of course, Oregon and Nevada, you know, of course people are going to consume a lot of beer per person. So yeah, this is a really cool map. But you know what I really found most fascinating about this map wasn't really like where all the high spots were. It was kind of the low spots. And what I was really impressed about was actually how high the low end was. So if we kind of look over here, you know, you see Utah over here, 18.7. You know, you got a lot of people who abstain from alcohol for religious reasons. And then, you know, kind of up the East Coast too, probably because just liquor is more popular there. You know, you see Maryland, New Jersey, Connecticut, places like that. So, you know, you see that beer is just not as popular there. But what really impressed me was how high the low number was. Because, you know, you look at Utah and you see 18.7 gallons of beer consumed per person on average. Now, at first you're like, oh, okay, that seems kind of low. But then I thought about it. I was like, wait a second. There are a lot of people who don't drink any alcohol at all. So if a lot of people are stacked up at 0, that means that the average is actually a lot higher amongst people who actually drink beer. And then I was like, oh, well, how much higher is that going to be? Because I really wanted to know. So I found this cool article on 538. And they looked, and it's a little bit of an older article. It was from 2014, and it was looking at a 2012 survey. But, what was really cool is that this 2012 survey was probably one of the biggest ones ever done, as it has a pool of almost 70,000 people. So, and I'm sure the data probably hasn't shifted that much since then. So I think this survey is a really cool thing to look at. And, they kind of break it down by age brackets, but if we look down here, we kind of see the average. So if you look, you've got 18% of people have never had a drink in their life. 33% of people have not had a drink in the past year, and 48 haven't had a drink in the past month. So what this kind of means when we look at the context of this per capita map again is that every one of these numbers should be about a third higher. They should all be about 30 to 35% higher than they are here, because so many people are stacked up at 0 that if you looked at the actual average person who consumes beer, all these numbers should be a lot farther up there. So, that's pretty cool if you ask me. Drunken One says Texas represents. Absolutely, they do. They did an absolutely great job. So, yeah, I think it's I think this map is really cool. I really like how it's laid out, and I really like the insights it gives. And just one other thing I want to show too. Oh, now I'm screwing up my technology again. One other thing I want to show too is they did a map just showing the total consumption per state. And now obviously we see California, Texas, Florida, New York, they all jump out. All the big population centers really jump out again. But it is cool to see kind of how all this breaks down, how beer breaks down geographically. And of course, just to see how that gets enjoyed. So, yeah, I really enjoyed looking at this map this week and kind of learning how the beer breaks down, how things break down across geographic lines and through the states. So, yeah, it was really cool. But like I said, it is the start of Craft Beer Week this week, and I'm excited to dive into it. I'm going to pull up the website that the Brewers Association started to kind of show what the events are all about. So I'm going to pull that up right now. Okay, so let me scroll back up. So yeah, here's a great little splash page they have going on. It's a week just to celebrate small, independent craft brewers and the beer they make. So I'm super excited to get into this week. And they give kind of a great overview here, but the big news is kind of right in the middle here. Breweries, beer bars, bottle shops, restaurants, they're all going to have great events, tours, beer releases, beer and food dinners, tap takeovers to celebrate all the great beer that America is brewing today and the great beer culture. And I'm really excited because as somebody who's a huge nerd and hangs out a lot on YouTube, I feel like I'm a little bit of a part of this culture too, and so are all the beer and homebrewing YouTubers out there. I feel like we all really add something extra to this culture too. We're all the big fans who not only turn out to drink, but turn out to review and talk about and really embrace beer. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to appreciating this week. It's not just the industry itself and all the great beers I get to try and things like that, but the people, man, the people are what make it so special. All the people I've met online, all the people I meet in breweries and tap rooms, it all just means so much to me. And I don't know if any of you feel the same way, but that's what I'm really looking forward to celebrating this week when it comes to Craft Beer Week. So I'll just pull that website up again because it did have some really cool beer related numbers, which is what I'm really excited to share. Hold on one second. Okay. So Looking back at the website, they ask again to support the independent craft brewers, and here's that independent craft brewer seal again. I can't remember how long ago it was I did a video on that when that first broke, but I see that all over now, that Brewers Association independent label. So keep an eye on that. If you don't know what it is, you can try looking back through my back catalog to see if we have it. They also have a couple good articles here on updates regarding how they're lobbying for beer in Washington. And then all the way down here, here's the cool brewery facts. 6,000 breweries in the U.S., which, holy cow, I remember when we crossed the 5,000 mark. I think I was even doing videos then. So, sorry, I had to take a sip of beer. I think I was even doing videos then, so that couldn't have been that long ago. But that really shows how well the industry is growing and how well beer is growing. And of course, they have to brag about their industry growth too. Craft brewers grew by 6%, reflecting what they call a bright spot for the domestic beer market, which I guess is right, because a lot of the big macro brands have really been not doing quite as well, at least according to their company annual reports that I've been looking at. Look, IPA remains the most popular style of beer, growing 22% in 2016. That's interesting because that's a little bit of an older number, and they just broke out New England IPAs as a style, I think, just earlier this year in 2018. So I wonder if that will cause IPAs to be displaced from the top style. My guess is probably not, but you never know. Beer lovers are also turning to sessionable styles, including golden ales, pilsners, and pale lagers. I want to add Kolsch to that list because I wish every brewer brewed a Kolsch like they do an IPA, but I guess that's just personal preference. Beercation destinations. Yeah, I know a lot about that. I did a great vlog on my trip to Denver where I hit about 13 breweries in 4 days, so that was cool. But then they did create this beer tourism index, which is kind of neat. So of course I had to click on the link because I'm a nerd and want to go down plenty of internet rabbit holes. Oh, sorry, but yeah, they had the top metro areas here for beer tourism. Of course, they've got Portland, Oregon, and Washington, Denver, Colorado, Seattle, Tacoma. Portland, Maine, actually, East Coast representing there, and then Colorado Springs, and then Santa Rosa, California. The smaller ones, Bend, Oregon, Boulder, Colorado, Fort Collins, Corvallis, Oregon, Missoula, Montana, and then Burlington, Vermont. But I was a little disappointed. We didn't have any areas in the Midwest represented, but I guess that's okay. I'll have to get over that. But yeah, they had another cool infographic here. Man, there are so many cool beer infographics going on, guys. I just this stuff just literally gets my beer nerd brain turning all the time, and I love looking up all this stuff and kind of bringing it and storing it in my brain and regurgitating it. So I should probably check the chat because I was watching who was it last night? Rod J was doing a stream, and they had quite the chat going on last night. Yep, Drunken One's gonna be enjoying some beers this week, so that's good. Ashley Sexton, nice to see you. How's it going? Oh, glad to see your hops are growing. So that sounds really good. Yeah, I'm just hanging out tonight. Got nothing better to do than talk about beer. So, what else is there? Oh, and drink beer, of course. Can't forget that. So let's see what else was going on in the world of beer this week. So I found a cool article that was talking about how craft brewers and brewers in general are starting to try to switch to, instead of having 12 packs, kind of debuting 15 packs of beer. So Founders, I think, was one of the first people to try it, although I'm sure they weren't the first, but, they were one of the first big brewers to try it. And, here they have kind of pictures of their 15 pack, boxes of beer there, the All Day and then their PC Pills, which are both really solid beers if you've never had them. But yeah, so they kind of go through here and talk about why they decided to grow, to go to 15 packs. And it's mostly because their idea behind it was, if you're packaging beer at the same volume as everyone else, so everyone does a 12-pack of cans, if you're packaging at the same volume and consumers see two IPAs right next to each other, maybe your competitor is just a little bit cheaper, you're a lot more likely to lose that sale. But if you increase the number of beers to 15, well, now suddenly the consumer has to choose. Okay, well, now they have to try and do the math. They have to say, okay, what's the cost per beer? So now I need to take the price on the sticker, divide it by the number of beers, 12 or 15, and get down to that price. Now, most consumers are not going to do that. The decision that they are going to make is that, hey, I can buy this 12-pack, or this 15-pack is only a little bit more, and I get 3 more beers, which I am totally down for. And see, what they might do is they might take the difference between the two. Say it's $2.50 more, and they're like, oh well, this one's only a few dollars more, but I get 3 beers for $2.50, and that's like under $1 a beer. So sure, I'm gonna do that, or some calculation like that, or just be like, you know what, the more beer, the merrier. And they really like these, and brewers really like these 15 packs, not only because, it's just an extra row of 3 cans in the pack. So really there's not a whole lot that they have to change with how they package beer, but also kind of like this one from the 21st Amendment Brewery, you get another beer slot for your variety pack. So now instead of getting 4 beers in a variety pack, so say you go into a bottle shop looking for a variety pack of beer, I want to try a few different things. Well, I can pick up this 12-pack that has 3 or 4 styles in it, or this 15-pack might be a little more, but then I get to try 5 different beers on one purchase. So I think this 15-pack idea is really cool. It's a little old, but now it's back in the news again because just all sorts of breweries are trying to switch to these packaging configurations because it has proven to be pretty successful. So let me know what you think of a 15-pack of beer. Is that something you want to try? Which would be really cool. So then I have one more article to share this week. And this one I just thought was really cool. And that there's a new North Texas movie theater opening that is going to be brewing their own beer. So this sounds really cool. Kind of in the North Dallas-Fort Worth area. They don't have a ton of screens, but it looks like a really high-end movie theater where you can get a lot of really good beer that they brew right on the site there. So, you've heard of some brew pubs before, and yeah, it looks like they have a full menu from a kitchen too, but, I've heard of brew pubs before, but this is the first brew movie theater. And I know there's plenty of movie theaters that have served beer, but look at all these fermentation tanks hanging out up there. That's the real deal right there. That's the real deal. I know if I were going to go see a movie, I would definitely want to do it at one that has a lot of great beer going on there. So that's kind of all the articles and stories I had for the week. I'm not sure I have a lot of other beer news to share, but yeah, it's all good. Ashley Sexton says 15 taster packs makes great sense, but if you want just one style of beer, you probably want the 24. Yep, and that's absolutely right. But again, I like buying variety packs every now and again just so I can try a lot of different beers very quickly. And I know a lot of the beer reviewers online here love variety packs because they get a decent amount of beers all at once. So. Drunken One says he just brewed 10 gallons of an American IPA today. I hope your brew day went well, Drunken One. I'm sure you'll get some footage up here shortly. I hope I didn't miss it. That would be a shame. But yeah, I'm just hanging out on a Friday night. try to take down a heavy golden beer. These beers always. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but these beers, these heavy golden beers, always confuse me because I never am able to figure out exactly how they pack so much booze in and still keep the nice malty color. Maybe they use some adjuncts, some sugar, things like that. I don't know. Drunken One says his video is going to be out for Homebrew Wednesday. Definitely looking forward to that. So cheers, Drunken One. All right, guys, I really don't have much more to talk about, so I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll see you guys around. Cheers. Thanks for joining me today. Oh, goodness. Cheers, guys.